Are you looking to join Cycling Men of Leisure at one of our events this summer?
You know I am.
Well, then where are we going?
Here's what we're doing. We're going to start our ride season off at the very end of May, going through the first week of June at the Big Bragg. We're going across Georgia yet again. Always a good time. Then in July, we are hooking up in Indiana to do Rain. That is a one-day ride across Indiana, 165 miles. Should be a good time. And then we are going to go to the Bourbon Country Burn in September down in Kentucky. We're going to do some riding, and we're going to get to tour some great distilleries and do some tasting. So it's going to be a great time.
I'm really looking forward to all three. Now, I know that normally 160 plus miles does not sound leisurely, but it's one that's been on our bucket list, and we're going to knock it off this year. So if you're looking to join us, you can find us on our social media pages or go to bragg.org, bourbonCountryBurn.com, and rainride.org. So look for those, and we'd look forward to joining you. Welcome to Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure. As usual, as you would expect, I am Adam, and once again, I am lucky enough to be joined with my good friend, Mr. Michael Sharp. How you doing, sir?
I am doing well. Thank you very much. How are you?
Good. It's good to be with you. We've been together a little bit more and more recently, but I always look forward to it. A little pep in my step today, knowing that we were going to record tonight. So,
Absolutely.
So this show is coming out on Mother's Day. So first of all, on behalf of myself and Michael, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Absolutely.
Speaking of that, you not only have a mother, but you also have a wife who is a mother. What's the big plans?
Not a lot of big plans, honestly.
Okay.
She is actually working Saturday night. So Sunday she'll get home. She'll be pretty tired, but I'm sure we'll find something fun to do. So
I asked my administrative aide, and she's smart as a whip and very quick-witted and very quick. I said, I said, she has 3 children. And I said, so what is the big hope? Like breakfast in bed? And she said, no. I said, take you out to lunch? And she said, no.
And
I said, what's the goal? She said, if I'm lucky, maybe my husband will take care of everything and I get a day to myself. And I was like, thanks for playing. So close. That's not going to happen.
So close.
Just a bit outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you are normally the history buff, history guy, history connoisseur who brings all kinds of cool stuff to our show. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But I thought, in honor of you, who normally does all of the work, that I would do a little chat GBT. I'm going to be honest where I came from. Man's got to be honest with the sources.
Appreciate that.
But I went to chat GBT and said, tell me some interesting facts about cycling and Mother's Day. And I have a few things for you.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm impressed.
Okay.
You said you had something interesting for me, and I thought, well, you're probably going to tell me, Mother's Day, founded May 8th of 1914 or so, just stuff like that. But you've got it in association with cycling. So I'm excited. This should be good.
Okay. And one of the things is pretty cool happens when we're going to be at Big Bragg 2025, if I can speak English. All right, here's some cycling facts first. Now, you're not going to be that surprised by the cycling facts, okay? The modern bicycle design with 2 equal-sized wheels and a chain dates back to the 1880s.
Mm-hmm.
That's not surprising to you. You're a guy who knows that.
Yeah.
Cycling has some health benefits. Cycling is excellent for cardiovascular health, joint mobility, and mental well-being. You're not surprised about that.
Glad that I'm not doing this for nothing, so that's good.
That's right. Obviously, it has an environmental impact. Bicycles produce 0 emissions, making them one of the most eco-friendly transport options. Popularity: the Netherlands has more bicycles than it does people. But now this is interesting.
Uh-oh.
This is what you're going to love.
Okay.
On June 3rd, when you and I are in the middle of Georgia, riding our bicycles, It is World Bicycle Day, which is celebrated on June 3rd as declared by the United Nations.
I had no idea. That is awesome. We'll have to do something special in support of World Bicycle Day. Now, Franklin should build that up a little bit, you know? I mean,
I know.
In the morning when he's getting everybody rallied up, it's like it's National or World Bicycle Day. Woo!
I know.
I'm thinking
of myself, buddy, you should maybe sell a special decal or something. So
there you go.
He will have enough time. This comes out on Mother's Day, so he's got time to order it. So Mother's Day facts. Now, this was a little bit interesting. The modern Mother's Day began in the United States in 1908, thanks to Anna Jarvis, and became a national holiday in 1914. Did you know that?
In fact, I think that's just what I said at the beginning. Remember? I said I thought you were probably just going to give me facts about, May 8th, 1914?
1914.
Yeah. When it officially, Congress, the president signed it. I think it would have been Wilson was the president about that time.
Oh, yeah. He was great. I remember that.
Good president.
Woodrow. Global celebrations. Countries celebrate it on different dates. In the U.S., it's the second Sunday in May. The most popular gift is flowers, especially carnations, greeting cards, and brunches are top choices. Phone calls is the busiest phone call day of the year, Mother's Day.
I can see that.
And the economic impact, Mother's Day is one of the biggest retail holidays, generating billions with a B in spending. Now, here are three.
You don't want to cheap it up with mom. I mean, come on.
No, of course not. I mean, this is moms who's been there cleaning up after you when you're sick and letting you watch The Price is Right. Oh, wait, man, that was maybe just my house. Sorry about that.
Oh, no. When you were sick, you got to watch the TV, Price is Right.
And remember, spay and neuter your pet. So
little Bob Barker there, yeah.
Now, here are some facts some things about cycling and Mother's Day together. Some cities organize Mother's Day bike rides or charity cycling events to promote health and togetherness with mom. How about active gifting? Bikes or accessories like stylish helmets or electric bikes are becoming popular gifts for active moms. But the biggest one is quality time with mom. While many choose to spend Mother's Day bike ride on a scenic trail, a very thoughtful, healthy way to spend the day together. And then it's so funny that ChatGPT has a sense of humor because it says, and afterwards, maybe take mom out for brunch, which totally takes away the fact of, it could be a healthy brunch, I guess. But anyways, I thought in honor, you're the one usually who does the deep dive and looking. I thought it'd be a little fun to go down that path. So
I am impressed and thank you. The chunk of that I did not know. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We appreciate it.
June 3rd, World Bicycle Day. So I will be one with my bicycle on June 3rd. So
you will.
We have a couple things. We obviously have our normal, but most people, and this time, wow. This is the biggest episode of guesses of Listener Spotlight. We have 4 independent guesses for Listener Spotlight.
Are any of them right?
There are 2 states represented with the 4 guesses, and I would go. One of the states has 3 guesses.
Okay,
and I'm gonna go with a V word with one of the states, and we'll get to that here in just one second. We also were finally able to sit down with the man, the myth, the legend, man who runs Big Brag 2025, Bragg, Spring Tune-Up, International Bragg, all kinds of brag, all the brag you can get.
A lot of brag, all the brags you could ever want.
Executive Director, Mr. Franklin Johnson, and we'll play that in a little bit. But before we get to Listener Spotlight, I wanted to give you the floor. Did you have anything else, or?
No, I I didn't. I did have a fun weekend last week, as you know. Went up to see Berkshire Hathaway, which is
yes.
Warren Buffett's stock, the Oracle of Omaha. Do that every year. It's something that's somewhat of a family tradition. And no, I'm not an A shareholder that's, those are worth like $850,000 a share. But doesn't matter. You can have B and still go. You can have partial shares and still go. So went up there, had a lot of fun. He made the big announcement. He is stepping down as CEO. So that was an interesting, kind of riff in the whole thing, but had a good time. Maya always likes to go up there, which it's always fun. And I think the cool thing is over the years, I went about 15 years, over the years from when I originally started going to now, a lot more kids, young people are out at these things. And I just get excited about that because it's like, yeah, that's cool. People are out there learning about, okay, maybe you're not learning necessarily, but indirectly, you're learning about investments and that type of thing. So that was cool to see. So, they're kids are getting interested in some old school type stuff, like investing and that type of stuff. So maybe they'll start cycling more. You never know.
I have two very important questions.
Okay.
Did you have any ice cream?
Yeah. I had more ice cream than I really needed. Berkshire Hathaway, for those who don't know, owns a Dairy Queen. And they have the big show up there where he, answers questions for people and stuff all day. But then downstairs, a lot of the different stock companies that he owns are down there hawking their wares. It's a brilliant way to, boost your earnings. But yeah. Dairy Queen was there, and I had 4 or 5 dilly bars and maybe a, peanut butter bar. But yeah, a lot of ice cream.
On the advice of my good friend, Mr. Michael Sharp, the co-host of Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure, I took a very large investment and bought B shares of Berkshire Hathaway, and they have done very, very well. My question is with the retirement, am I okay?
This is just my thought. I'm not a financial advisor anymore. This is just my thought on the whole thing. We were really worried. A lot of us as shareholders were really worried, 7, 8, 9 years ago, because he was very secretive about who was going to take over. And so everybody got worried that it's like, what happens if something happens to him and he doesn't announce who the next person is that's taking over? That would have thrown this stock into complete chaos, who's taken over, and, would have really, really hurt the business. Fortunately, the last 3 years or so, he kind of had designated who would be taking over. It's just at this meeting, he finally said, hey, I'm stepping down, not retiring, stepping down. So I think we're in great shape now because the people that he's got in there, he's been grooming them for years. But I think if it would have happened, something would have happened to him like 5, 6, 7 years ago, the uncertainty would have, just crushed the stock. But you're okay. I'm glad to hear that because I didn't know where you're going with that. I was like, uh-oh.
No. What's funny is the I'm not afraid to share the stock that I had was PepsiCo. And you and I were on a ride and you said, are you sure you want to keep that there? And I was buying it on cost allocation. So, we talk about investing a little bit on this show a lot. So cost allocation just means, if you don't know what that means, I was just buying a share on a regular scheduled basis.
Dollar cost averaging.
Yep. Every now and then I would get a share that would be, I'd hit that out of the park. The next week I would pay way too much. But on you and I kept talking about it. And then in Europe, they decided to pull Pepsi out of a lot of the grocery stores. And so, you had made the recommendation and it's been a good recommend. By the way, you and your wife have helped me out in my portfolio. My Casey's, I got to say, my Casey's is still doing very, very well. So
when do I start seeing my brokerage fees?
Just a bit outside.
Not today. Yeah, let's. But I do have always caveated, I am not an investment advisor, not an investment professional. Years ago, I was in the business. I'm not anymore. So what I say is just Michael Sharp's unprofessional opinion. So take it for what that's worth.
Ladies and gentlemen, file all complaints to Lewisburg, Kansas. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you sharing that. I believe it or not, my good friend and neighbor texts me, and we always talk about investing here on the street when we're, like king of the hill, taking over the world, standing out with our cocktails and thinking that we know everything, which we don't. And he texted me and he said, "Oh my gosh, Warren Buffett's retiring." I said, "What if I told you my good friend is there?" And your wife had posted a couple pictures on Facebook. So I went to Facebook and screenshot it to show that you were outside. He's like, "He really is there." I'm like, "He really is." So
not making this up.
Well, all right. I'm excited. We got 4 guesses. Then we'll play the Franklin interview, and then we'll come back and finish her off. So,
all right.
With that being said, I don't want to blow it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Listener Spotlight.
All right, Listener Spotlight. The clues that I gave you for last episode were as follows. This town was founded in the 1880s by a former Confederate general. This community was likened to Italy early on. Major development did not occur to this area for a good long time. However, during World War II, that's when it started to really develop and pick up. If you are into golf, this city is for you. And if you don't like golf, pickleball. This town loves pickleball. And then my final clue, which was maybe the giveaway, maybe the one that threw everybody off, I don't know. The Spanish conquistadors found no fountain of youth, but if they were there today, they might think that they had found the 7 cities of gold.
On behalf of Adam
and Michael,
we both want to say thank you
for your support.
We got 4 guesses. The 2 states that were represented in the guesses are Arizona and Florida, just to kind of give that away. So I'm gonna give you the guesses in order that we received them.
Okay.
So first up is our good friend of the show, Matt Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt was the first to guess, and he said, "I'm almost certain it's not. But I guess a town in my state of my birth, Yuma, Arizona, founded in the mid-1880s as a structured town. No real industry until World War II airfield. Coronado and others passed through, and the gold tie via nearby mines and prospector routes, and now filled with retirees, golf, and pickleball."
Okay. Solid.
All right. The second guess we got is from our team member, DeBrim wearer, beautiful woman herself, who has a husband who also wears a DeBrim, by the way, Melanie Erickson.
Is the DeBrim really important?
I'm the one reading it. I'm just kidding. Melanie, thank you very much. She says 2 things. So first she has a guess, and then the song Rome. Last episode we did Rome. It was supposed to be the B-52s.
Which makes way more sense now. So, yeah.
And I do know the song because I said it. Now it's like, I don't know if I know that song or not. I do. But her listener spotlight guess is the Villages, Florida. Golf and pickleball are huge leisure activities. And they say people who move to the villages live up to 20 years longer. Fountain of youth, quite possibly. I'm going with Melanie's guess, by the way. There's 2 other guesses, but I told you that I was going to go with one of the V's. I'm going to go with the Villages.
Okay.
All right. Our third guess, I have to go to my phone here, was our good friend and team member, Armando. Armando has guessed. My guess is Naples, Florida. More holes of golf than any other city. It holds major pickleball tournament and was a training site for Army Air Force. And then last but certainly not least, another V word is Venice, Florida, which is Jeff, who has guessed correctly before. He is our weather aficionado and saved our butt in Ragbri. So there you have it. You have Venice, Florida, the Villages, Florida, Naples, Florida, and Yuma, Arizona. Michael, tell us, how did our guesses do?
You know what? Someone got it right.
All right. Hold on. I don't get to do this very often.
All right. So I have to say, congratulations to our good friend Armando.
Hey, all right. We're going to hit him with a double one. Nice job.
The answer was, in fact, Naples, Florida.
Naples, Florida.
Yeah.
So that unfortunately means Jeff, Melanie, and Matt.
Sorry.
Oh, by the way, that was Adam too. Adam's of the Villages. Naples, Florida. All right. Well,
Yeah,
tell us.
let me give you a little bit more information here.
Okay.
It is known as the golf capital of the world. It has more golf holes per capita than any other place in the United States. You and I should probably go there sometime. Founded in the 1880s by a former Confederate general and Kentucky U.S. Senator, John Stuart Williams, and his business partner. What else do we got? Yeah. During World War II, not much happening. And then when World War II happened, the Army Air Force developed a training center there. Armando hit this one too, the pickleball. There is a pickleball championship held there, and it had been held there every year since 2016. And the final one is the Spanish and the conquistadors. And the Spanish conquistadors found no fountain of youth, but if they were there today, they might think that they have found the 7 cities of gold. Naples is one of the wealthiest cities in the United States.
Well, I mean, I believe Armando was on vacation and gave the guess. So, very nice. So, you boys were texting. I was in a meeting. I kept looking down, like I have to look serious, but I want to look at what's going on here. So,
and you notice, we were texting after he gave us the answer, and I did not give it away. I said,
you did not.
I don't give anything away. So you have to wait and listen to the show to get the info.
No, I didn't want to hurt Jeff's feeling because when he guessed Venice, I've been to Venice. I've actually scuba dived in Venice. Manatees are in Venice, but there wasn't a lot of golf there. So I was, or at least not where I was, I should say. But, well, listen, I think that's a record for us. We 4 solid guesses. We appreciate all of you taking the time and, out of your day to write us. And we definitely appreciate the correction, Melanie, and making me it's not the BB, it's the B52s. She said she was using voice to text. So, well, listen, we were able to sit down with Franklin. Now, I have a confession. I'd like to just preface this interview with something. On the last episode, I was so excited thinking that I had proprietary information that I knew something that wasn't going to be out there. And I did. I just missed my chance because he was traveling. And so as soon as I said that, the next morning I got up and I saw that the Facebook had pretty much all my secret information. So I just wanted to be transparent that while I knew about it and was holding back, I think we missed our opportunity. We were trying to get him right between spring tune-up and him going to Croatia, and due to my schedule, we were not able to do that. So just want to be honest about that, but it was still wonderful to sit down with him. It's just such a joy to have him on. We consider him a friend of the show. So,
well, let's go ahead and play that.
Okay.
And what he's talking about here is the activities that he has lined up for riders on our
off day.
There we go.
Yeah. So this is in Dawsonville. A few other things that we hit on about Big Brag 2025, but most of this is specifically, as he first told us when we interviewed him, Awesomeville and Dawsonville. So I'm pretty excited. He's got a couple things, and then we'll come back with a couple things. So we'll go ahead and play that now.
All right, listen to it.
Well, we have a very special guest today. We consider a wonderful friend of the show, the executive director, if I could speak English, of Bragg, Mr. Franklin Johnson. Thank you for joining us, buddy.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Welcome.
Look at that. The man's got a microphone. Fancy.
This is compliments of a famous podcaster I know. He mailed it to me. So,
Well, listen.
I wish we knew a famous podcaster. That'd be cool.
One of these days we're going to find one. So, the last time that you joined us here on our Shenanigan podcast, you gave us a very cool little trivia road for Big Bragg with the route, giving us some distilleries, some breweries, some highlights. And I'm sure at that time you still had a little planning to do. And we'd love to hit on that. But first, I saw some pictures of you and Heather in Croatia. Can you tell us about that?
Croatia is probably the prettiest riding I think I've ever done. Just every turn, you're looking out over the ocean. You know, it's very hilly. I'll start with that. So as you're going up and down, you just have views of the ocean and all the red roofs, all the, they did a lot of filming for Game of Thrones there. So you got a lot of historic European looking buildings in the background. You're riding past vineyards and olive trees, and it's just, the water is absolutely beautiful. So every ride was probably kept topping the prettiest ride I've ever done. So can't say enough good things about Croatia.
That's cool.
Now,
And I did
one thing, let me interject here. I used to be a sales guy, and I know you're into sales, but let me just tell you, you don't want to start your sales pitch off with, there's hills. You might want to leave that to the back somewhere and go, oh, by the way, there is some rolling hills or something. Don't start off with the hills.
Now, hold on a second. I saw the advertisement on Facebook today in clear yellow letters. It says, bring your spouse and or enjoy an e-bike. So something along those lines, right?
Every single person is going to be on an e-bike. There's just, my wife did it. She's not an avid cyclist. She's decently in shape. And, there's a couple of days where she was like, that was tough, but definitely doable. And on the hills, you just put it on turbo and keep going.
That's cool.
And I thought about, before I went over there to do it, I was looking at the elevation charts, studying it, looking at everything and thinking okay, should I try and do this without an e-bike? And man, I am so glad I chose to do an e-bike, because you could have done it, but you just would not be able to keep up with the group if everybody's on e-bikes. But the e-bikes, makes it fun, makes it pleasurable, and you're not killing yourself. You're not killing yourself out there. It makes it so you can actually enjoy yourself, which is really nice.
I just thought it was cool how you both had different posts, and Heather was showing the boat and the accommodations, and it's definitely interesting looking at everything. And I'm sitting here in my doom and gloom office, and I'm watching you guys smile and look like you're having the time of your life. So Michael, of course, said, "Well, lucky you." So
yeah, well, you guys can join us. The accommodations are great because you stay on a boat. So we ride around or across 6 different islands, which is great. So you get there, get on the boat. You don't have to, you guys are used to cruising. It's not a cruise, but it's, we're on it's like an 18 cabin yacht that we're on. So you unpack once, you get off on one side of the island. We ride our bikes all the way to the other side of the island. Boat picks us up there, and then we sail to the next island. So there's a chef on board that's cooking all our meals. It's
wow.
It's really the only way to go and see that. A lot of people do tours in Croatia, and they stay in between Split and Dubrovnik and just ride on the mainland. But man, the islands are just, the traffic is so much lower. It's so pretty, and it's you get unique little culture on each island, which is really cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
Well, I'm in. If I can get Adam
I looked earlier today. Oh, go ahead.
I said I'm in if I could get Adam to do it. So
yeah.
Well, ironically,
especially on e-bike now, the hill thing doesn't matter if I'm on e-bike. So
It does not.
Well, I still have to train, but I'm just kidding. I saw it's that's September 11th through the 18th, right? Plus or minus travel.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to leave a day earlier because
Okay.
you're gonna lose a day getting over there.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, I mean, I think it was really cool to follow along. I liked how you guys shared your research trip, and I'm sure the kiddos were missing you by the time you got back. So, by the way, I text you personally, but I'm going to say it here. Watching your daughter ski down those hills, she's a freaking natural, man. So
Oh well, you didn't see all the falls, but
that's
but yeah,
okay.
she's picking up on it, which is great. This is our third year taking her out there, and that's that's one of the things I really enjoy is skiing. And I was a snowboard instructor a long time ago, so really trying to indoctrinate the younger ones so that every year wintertime it's their idea to go skiing rather than mine, and my wife allows it then. So
That's cool.
that's my plan.
That's cool.
You are a sales guy. Look at that.
Well,
I love
all
it.
right.
A strategic thinking there. Strategic.
Well, I forget who it was. It was on maybe Dave Letterman. It was a celebrity, and he said, "Oh yeah," he said, "Well, my daughter loves golfing, so we got to take her." And yeah, right. You got to take her. Of course, you got to take her. So, but well, I believe it or not, was reached out by a few longtime brag riders today because they listened to the last show, and I said that we were going to try to connect with you, and I was asked 3 times independently today whether you were actually coming on or not, and I said I'm talking to him tonight at 8:00, and so there's a lot of people who are going to Big Brag 2025 who are highly anticipating some updates. Can you give us some updates on Big Brag 2025, if I could speak English? Man, I'm having a hard time talking today.
For sure. What do you have any specific questions? Sounds like you got some specific questions. Maybe we can hammer those first.
I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
Hear it.
It's not so much a question, it's a clarification. I hear you've got some great activities on the layover day, and I hear one of them involves a racetrack. And my question is, if that is correct, do I get a ride around the racetrack on my bicycle?
Yes, and that's going to be awesome.
Yes.
So there's actually quite a few race car themed things this year. Just happened to work out that way. But in Dawsonville, there's Atlanta Motorsports Park, which it's clubs like this are popping up. It's like a country club, but instead of golf and tennis, it's race cars. So it's a really cool, professionally designed, a little over 2 mile F1 track. Out just outside of Dawsonville. I got a friend who goes up there and drives on it all the time. There's actually a couple riders who have a condo there because you can get condos right on the track. Really, really awesome place, cool place to be. So a really cool thing we're going to get to be able to do there is they're giving us a time slot to ride around the track, which will be really cool. So we're going to get there. Everybody's gonna have to sign a waiver. Of course, it's a racetrack, so they're going to be very careful. Everybody signs a waiver, and then we're going to have, I think it's like an hour. We're going to have to be able to do laps around the track. It's really twisty, turny, kind of hilly, but it'll be awesome to do that, to actually ride on the F1 track on your bicycle, which will be really cool. Second thing they do there is they have go-karts. So they actually have an F1 style go-kart track that we're going to get to ride go-karts on. So they're going to have different time slots for us, and you can sign up for that ahead of time. It's actually in the newsletter now, and the one that's going to be going out. So you can sign up for your spot, and you can do anywhere from 1 to 3 sessions, and they go 60 miles an hour. So wow. You get to ride around the racetrack on your bike, and then you get to a separate track, go-kart track, but you get to ride around that at 60 miles an hour on a go-kart. So that's going to be awesome too.
Michael, I have some good news.
What's that?
I'm the planner between you and I traveling.
You are, and that's why I love traveling with you.
What if I told you that we are already signed up, sir, to do go-karts? You and I are going to be going 60 miles an hour. First, we're going to ride our bikes around the track, and then we have the 10:04 spot for 2 spots for the 8-minute. So if anyone's awesome. Looking at it, it's 8-minute sessions. And the advertisement is, "Can you last 8 minutes?" I'm like, "I'm lasting 8 minutes. I am lasting 8 minutes." So, Michael,
a rodeo
I have
or
good
something
news.
here?
We are signed up, my friend. So
awesome. That is going to be a blast. When I saw that, I was like, nice, beautiful. So looking forward to it.
But you also have something non-racetrack themed. I saw in the bragging rights. You're having a tour going to the falls.
Yeah, so they're Dawsonville's really done a great job. They got a lot of stuff going on, and this foothills and falls. We have 2 waterfalls on this year. One is Amicalola, which is the tallest waterfall in Georgia. So if you've never done that, I definitely suggest, or if you're not from Georgia, definitely suggest hopping on there, filling out the form to hop on that bus, and that bus is going to leave. And if we get enough demand, there'll be multiple buses running from camp up to Amicalola Falls. It's a little bit of a drive, not far. Definitely would not ride your bike up there just because the roads up there are pretty tough. But yeah, you can go see Amicalola Falls. It'll drop you off. You can hike from the bottom all the way to the top if you want. And it's a really cool experience to see. It'll be really cool in the summertime too. You have time to do that. If you're doing go-karts early, get back to camp, ride your bike back to camp and then hop on the bus and do both, which will be nice.
Now, I have to ask, and you don't know the backstory here, but this is a real waterfall, right? I mean, it's the reason why I ask is we were in Michigan and go visit the falls. And we rode off the route. It wasn't that far, but we rode off the route to see the waterfall. And literally there was some rocks piled about 6 inches high across the stream and water was going over. And that was their waterfall. Very disappointing. So I'm hoping that we have some rushing water crashing over falls. Do we have that?
You do have that. So it's this is multiple cascades, right? So it's not a single unimpeded fall. And this is where the 2 waterfalls come into competition here. The one in Toccoa is the tallest unimpeded waterfall, I'm pretty sure, east of the Mississippi. Wow. Don't quote me on that. It's really tall, but it is an actual, the water doesn't touch anything until it's the bottom, where the one in Amicalola is very tall and very impressive and it's still a waterfall, but it definitely has multiple cascades from top to bottom.
As long as it's not this far off the ground, a couple of rocks piled in a stream and water's flowing over it and we call that a waterfall, I'm good.
Oh, no, it's 700 feet tall. Yeah, it's impressive.
Good enough. That's a waterfall.
When we were in Michigan, 2 of our friends from Georgia, Juan and Amir, came up and they're like, "That's not a waterfall."
It wasn't.
Yeah, well, definitely have to agree. And it was a decent ride to get down to the quote unquote waterfall. So we rode a for that. It's but so Michael, I also have good news.
Yes, sir.
We are signed up for the shuttle for at 1:00 to go see the falls. So.
And this is why I ride with Adam. He's like my travel agent. It's beautiful.
Well, I have to thank assume Stephanie gives credit is due, or maybe Franklin. I don't want to be rude, but bragging rights came out early Sunday morning and early Sunday or Saturday maybe, and it said sign up here, and I figured, you know what, the supply and demand, and I wanted to take advantage of the supply before the demand was gone. So we are signed up, and we'll be riding even though normally on our off day, Franklin usually has us pinned down. We usually jump in a car and drive to a distillery. I can officially say we are participating on the off day. So a couple questions that came through to me.
Before you throw me under the bus too bad on the distillery, Granddaddy Mem's distillery is 100 yards from where the camp spot is. So you can go to Amicalola, then when you get back, then go to the distillery and you can walk there. So it's going to be a very
we
full
already
day
have that in our plans. So
yes.
you see, this is just nice. Before we had to drive, 60 miles to get to a distillery. Here you just plopped one in our lap. So it's beautiful. We can just have the best of both worlds.
It's going to be a great day. I think you quoted it because I obviously wasn't familiar, but it's going to be an Awesomeville day in Dawsonville. So there was a question. Question that came to me that if I was going to sit down with you is on your Strava, Ride with GPS, you have days 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. and two questions that came across my desk that if you're still work in progress, your Century ride is only showing up at 86 miles. And so is there a loop was one of the questions.
Somebody made up that Century Day loop thing with the 86 miles anyway. But then, so we're still working on the Century to get it as close to 100 as we can. So still working on that.
Okay, fair enough.
There is a bridge out in Toccoa that's making us go around where we don't really want to go in South Carolina, but kind of have to. So we're still working on that.
Okay.
And then day 4, we had to wait till we got final approval on the track to do that. But that's going to be the ride on day 4 is out to the track, have a rest stop, everything out of the track, go-karts, all that, and then ride back. So
that's there was two route questions that came in, and then one of the questions that came in, which I think I already know the answer to, but I'm going to ask you since we're here, is will there be plenty of restaurants? Which I know the answer is yes, but I know people want to hear it. On the layover days, if people would like to sit down restaurants and stuff, are there some options for the people?
Yeah, there's a bunch, all within walking distance in Dawsonville, which is great. There's Mexican joint. There's the City Hall is in a complex with the Race Car Hall of Fame, where they've got racing simulators and the whole Hall of Fame trophies you can go see, which is really cool. You should definitely do that while we're there. There's also a restaurant there. They're going to be doing breakfast for us both days, and they do lunch and dinner. There's definitely a few fast food places around town. There's some in downtown. I would say downtown, but the more downtown part of Dawsonville, and there's some more closer where we are. So there will be plenty. Plus, there's going to be shuttles that are going back and forth to Walmart and also the hotels, and they've got restaurants over there if you want to hop on that. It's just that's a 20-minute one-way bus ride, which makes it a little bit more difficult to get out there.
Okay,
so we got options.
Cool. No, those were some of the questions that came to me today. So I have to tell you, in the bragging rights, I had a real brain fart because every year we usually sign up for your shuttle, and then we usually, meet you at the end town, put our bikes on the trucks. The truck goes over. And so in the bragging rights, when it said shuttle, I'm like, why haven't I got the shuttle email yet? Because I'm not taking the shuttle.
You don't need the shuttle.
Yeah. So this year I'm not taking it, but I know usually you guys put out a nice communication email about when and how and where to meet the shuttle. So I'm sure that'll go out shortly. So.
Yeah, and there's one that'll be separate for just the folks on the shuttle too, because it's a lot of information for people who don't necessarily need it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Michael, any questions from you from any of the brag updates?
No, I actually answered a question to somebody because I have done my research on Dawsonville, but I took care of that question. I felt kind of like, I know all about Dawsonville now, so...
And I also saw, not my thing normally because I like to visit and communicate and socialize, but you're offering movies as well in Dawsonville for those who may want to go see a movie I saw in the newsletter. So,
yeah, we're going to do that right. It's actually going to be right in Town Park where we're camping. So you'll be able to watch it, or if you don't want to watch it, you might have to watch it if you're staying there. So.
Well, great. I don't know if you heard, but Michael's actually been training, buddy. I'm proud of you. I saw. I know. He wrote a little bit the other day too. I saw that.
Yeah, I'm getting more in than normal. So that's a good thing.
I hear some tension between the indoor cycling though. You're not enjoying as much.
I'm enjoying it more this year than I have in the past. So it's getting better for me. So
nice.
As long as I'm not looking, my problem was I was always looking at the clock or looking at the mileage because I didn't have anything else to look at. And I just do away with those on the screen and just get into the music. And so getting a few miles. So it won't be quite as bad as 2 years ago. And
oh my gosh,
very little.
Never forget
and then you
that.
ran us through the mountains. So yeah, my own wonderfully created torture there. So.
I share that story a lot, Franklin. There were the police leave us alone, and you look at us and say, "You boys been training?" And we're like, a little bit. And you're like, I hope you have. And the next
And
day
he
in the middle of the
started
day, I'm
laughing
like,
just like that. It was like, oh
Yeah,
boy,
he
this
did.
isn't going to be good.
yeah.
We're
But
developing, we're growing,
hey,
so that's good.
yeah, we made it. I had a 60-mile ride on Sunday, 17 average, so I wasn't too bad. So
Not at all. That's good.
Well, we appreciate your time. We're going to squeeze this in between our next show. Michael obviously will have listener spotlights for the bookends and the front and back, and we've already got some guesses, so that's kind of cool.
Nice.
Always excited about that. We got an offer from one of our team members to help us on our webpage, so stay tuned to that. I'm excited, Michael. I was going to share with you after we record here. So
didn't even get that news yet. So that's cool. All right.
So, Trip, hope you passed your final, and I will share with Michael, and I'm excited about it. So, Trip has offered to help us, and listen, I'll take all the help I can get. So, well, you guys, you heard it here. Franklin has got everything planned for us. I mean, Bragg is a great time. I have witnessed a few Facebook communications. If you're on the fence and you're catching this interview, I have to tell you that Bragg is one of, not because the man is here with me, but Michael and I have been lucky enough to do many rides. And this has got to be one of the most well-organized SAG stops, support, clean, easy, organized, no questions about what's going on ride that I've ever done. And if you're thinking about it and you're about to pull the trigger and you're like, oh, I'm available the 30th of May through June 8th, boom, just jump on it. So there's the official Cycling Men of Leisure stamp of approval. So
it's a good endorsement. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, buddy, we know that you're a family man and you've been traveling. I'm sure you're exhausted from traveling. Oh, I'm just kidding. So it's always fun to travel.
It's so we got there was spring tune-ups, all the getting ready for spring tune-up. Spring tune-up was there, and then the Monday after spring tune-up, hopped on a plane, went to Colorado, and then got back from Colorado. 3 days later, went to Croatia, and then we just got back this past weekend. So we've been at it nonstop for sure.
And if there's younger people out there looking for a career choice, I'm thinking bike director is a darn good one, because let me tell you, it doesn't sound like he's spending a lot of time at home. Colorado, Croatia.
And then Bragg is here. And then right after Bragg, a week later, we're in France for 2 weeks. So, I mean, it's a
tough life.
It's a packed calendar.
Yeah, except what I'm hearing is international bike director is the way to go, because every time we interview somebody, the ride is dying. So I think international bike director is the way to go. So,
well, I'm also hiring. So, if any of you guys want to move to Georgia, let me know.
Well, Franklin, we know and we appreciate all of your time. We so much appreciate, you giving us a Bragg update. We're less than a month out. Everybody's packing. Everyone's getting everything, all their gear together. We just want to say thank you so very much for coming on.
Absolutely. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
And what is today?
It's a great day for a bike ride.
Absolutely it is.
Yes, it is.
It's always a good time to have him on, man. I'm so excited about Dawsonville. I'm excited about the kart racing. I'm excited about the waterfalls. I'm excited about everything. I really do believe Dawsonville is going to be Awesomeville. So, what do you think?
No, it's a great interview, and we certainly, as always, appreciate him taking time, especially now. I mean, we're getting down to the wire. Him taking time out to come and talk to us. Always a great time. We certainly appreciate it. And
what did you think of his sound quality?
The sound quality was really good.
The Cycling Men of Leisure boys donated a microphone to Big Bragg 2025.
Yes, we did. So no, it sounds like a lot of fun. But you know what else? Dawsonville is going to be even more Awesomeville, because you and I have a couple of surprises for our team.
We do.
The Cycling Men of Leisure and the Cycling Women of Leisure teams, we have a couple of other things that we are planning on doing when we get to Dawsonville. So we are hoping that a big chunk of the team would like to partake, come join us, do it, that type of thing, because we've got a couple of things that we're going to be doing. And I'm not going to say what, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And I'm looking forward to that too. I'm just looking forward to the whole week.
I am too. We've got some cool stuff, and you and I have been doing some planning, so I'm really excited. So if you are on the Cycling Men or Cycling Women of Leisure team, just know this year Michael and I have outdone ourselves. So
we've stepped it up. And if you're not, you can still come and hang out with us. And we are planning on at some point later in the week having a speakeasy.
Mm-hmm.
And there may or may not be a bottle or two of something
firewater
in my bags that get packed that we'll be passing out for everybody to enjoy. So,
well, there usually is. So I if not, we got a credit card. We can go somewhere. But
I'm gonna money. There is.
Remember the Michigan store where I pedaled 20 miles with a bottle of bourbon in my bibs. So.
Yes, and that is not an exaggeration. He pedaled from Charlevoix up to
God,
I don't even know where, but it was it was like 20 miles because that was the only we knew for a fact we could get it there. And thank God it was Woodford Reserve that had the flat bottle, so it kind of fit better, in the bibs than something else would have, like a bottle of Jack or something.
And I was a little bit of a bigger boy. There was more room in my bibs, and but no, we sure did.
Bibs? Is that whiskey?
I tell you what, boy, what you got there? Them boys of leisure. They bring the bourbon and the party with them.
He's got some whiskey there in those cycling bibs. Well,
so we definitely had a little bit of a beginning of the show, middle of the interview, trying to keep it, within a reasonable amount of time. So, also working on something else. One of our team members is helping us out with something, and just want to say we Trip doesn't go unnoticed. We got something cool coming up, and so we'll announce that when we're ready. Just wanted to mention that, and cool. To our subscribers, thank you, and a couple of you we get to ride with you in Georgia pretty soon. So thank you so much. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for Listener Spotlight.
All right. Got a good one for you this episode. The community and the city that we're speaking of started out in a territory named for a different state in the early 1800s. The early major industry in the area was textiles. Okay. During World War II, the military established a very big presence in this area. The town changed its name prior to the War of 1812. The original name was British in origin. And with the War of 1812, there was some anti-British sentiment going around. So they decided to rename the town something less British. And so that's what they did. 9 Civil War generals were born in or very near this community. And I will tell you that these generals were not all on the same side. And here's the best one, the best hint. This city could have been the inspiration for a well-known Elton John song.
Goodbye, yeah. No, just kidding. Candle in the Wind. Rocket Man.
This is where you need to put your Elton John belt on.
It's downstairs. I could go get it.
So there we are. Elton John started a territory named for a different state. Early industries were textile. Military came in World War II and established a large presence that has created a very long-lasting presence within the community in one way, shape, or form. And then it changed its name. It's not St. Louis.
No. All I'm going to say is in my head, and don't respond because people watch us on YouTube, so don't give your facial expression away either. When you say very famous Elton John song, I'm thinking of NASA communities with Rocket Man. And that's all I'm going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note.
He's got a lot. I will say, though, he's got a lot of big songs. So
this is true. He has a lot.
Anyway, something to think about.
But soon for you and I, it'll be a great day for a bike ride.
Hey, we just wanted to remind you that we've got some really cool products at our Jersey and our swag store.
That's right. You can visit cyclingmenofleisure.com. At the top of the page, you'll find our stores page. Click there. There's 2 QR codes. The one on the left has a J on it. That's the store for the jerseys. The one on the right is just a swag store. Has all kinds of different items. Kind of customizable. You can kind of make the swag the way you want it. If the QR codes are giving you an issue, don't worry. Underneath, there's 2 buttons that you can click on. Thank you, and have a great day.